Just bear with me. I'm trying to open some things to. Just getting things posted to Facebook. All right, I think I'm up. All right, well, hey everyone. So this is a kind of a different type of home vlog. Something for me is going to be fun to talk about. It's not really kind of a review, but it's definitely a hobby of mine. If you can't tell from behind me and everything, and you've seen our home vlog reviews where you've seen everything behind me. I'm definitely a Star Wars fan. So I am a member of the 501st Legion. Now, just to kind of throw this out real quick, the 501st did not contact me to do this video. Any of the companies, suppliers that I talk about, they did not contact me to make sure I mention them, but I'm going to be mentioning them. So hello, Destination Family Dad. So as a member of the 501st Legion, so I've been a member since 2016. Started kind of doing some things in 2015 as a handler, but officially became a member in 2016. So a little bit of history about the 501st Legion, first of all. It was created by the founder, Albin Johnson. He lives here on the East Coast. I'm not going to give you exactly where he lives, but he started this back in 1997. A huge Star Wars fan, and wanted to, childhood dreams, of wanting, when you saw the original trilogy of Star Wars, you get that. That's what I would love to be when I grow up. So he got with some friends and they bought some Stormtrooper armor and dressed up. They went to Dragon Con in Atlanta in 1987, and the rest is history. This is the start of the 501st Legion. Now, the 501st Legion has no affiliation with Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm has obviously made nods to the 501st in the animated series. The 501st does work with Lucasfilm, but we are not affiliated. They'll contact us for special events and everything that 501st will go to. So now the 501st membership is 50,000 plus strong, and I am not into the politics of the 501st Legion. I'm just a trooper. I enjoy putting on the gear and stuff and going. But yeah, so in the three things that the 501st stands for: to promote the interest of Star Wars. Obviously, it's what we dress up for. To facilitate the use of the costumes, but most importantly, to contribute. The 501st Legion is huge when it comes to contributions to charities. The 501st really works with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and a goal for the 501st Legion is to raise $501,000 for Make-A-Wish. They're 58% there. Of course, in the description is a link to where you can go to if you would like to take a look at the 501st with Make-A-Wish or even make a donation. If you do, thank you. But yeah, but you know, the 501st in the garrisons, and and kind of break it a little bit more down. 501st Legion is global. There are 50,000 plus members, not just here in the United States, but globally. We are in every continent except for Antarctica. But a 501st member did go to Antarctica on an expedition for his job, and he was a snow trooper. And he took it down with him, put it on, and yeah, so it was really pretty cool to see a snow trooper in Antarctica, which is befitting. So, but we're in every continent except for Antarctica that has an actual active garrison. So we have garrisons. Obviously, here in the United States, I mean, we have a lot of garrisons, and the garrisons are not necessarily state. Now, here in Virginia, we are known as Garrison Tyranus. We are the entire state. But if you go to some other states where, such as DC and Maryland, they're old line garrison. You go into the Carolinas, North and South Carolina, I believe, are one entire garrison. California is broken into 2 or 3 garrisons. But then when you look at the garrisons, they're broken down into squads. So, and I'm going to use my garrison, Garrison Tyranus, as an example. We're broken into 4 squads. There's CNR squad, Nova. Can't remember the one out in the west. And then the squad I'm in is Galactic Center Squad. So we have our own forums, and anybody can join the forums. There's just members only portals, but you have to be a member. And I'll talk about how to become a member in a minute. So, but on these forums, this is where we get all our information regarding events and everything. So we go to what we call troops, many events. No, she doesn't. Destination Family Dad. So yeah, so the 501st, they get notified by organizations and saying, hey, we really would like you guys to come out and troop for us. Most of the time, if it's not for a major business, like Lucasfilm, because we are Star Wars, of course, Disney now owns Star Wars, so that's become a lot more of a gray area on what we can and cannot do. But yeah, so we go to different functions, a lot of charity events. I've gone to the local baseball team, the Richmond Flying Squirrels. They have a Star Wars Day. Hockey teams have them. Football teams, baseball teams. So we've been all those type charity events, runs, scouting events, parades. We do Richmond Christmas Parade every year. That's known as I call it the Bataan Death March, or the Christmas Death March, because until you walk 2.5 miles in stormtrooper armor at parade speed, which parade should be kind of a leisurely pace. No, not the Richmond Christmas Parade. It's a death march, 2.5 miles. Plus, you've got your armor on for close to 4, maybe 5 hours, depending on what time you start putting it on. Early morning, into early afternoon. But it's a lot of fun. It's very rewarding to be in the 501st Legion. 501st Legion's members, because we have these racing shirts. And it's, you know, a lot of us have made personal shirts. I've got a personal shirt back here that's got all my patches on, which I'll show you some of the patches. But going to these events is just amazing. And so how I got involved in the 501st is, you know, growing up, I saw the original trilogy back in the 80s, not until later because I was born in 81. But my first time I saw sorry, I was reading one of the comments. So, you know, growing up, I saw first time I saw the episode 4. I think I was 8, and fell in love with Star Wars. And I don't know, there was something about. Now, I did not collect Star Wars toys when I was a kid. I was a G.I. Joe. I played with G.I. Joes. So, but after I watched Star Wars, I pretended my G.I. Joes were in the Star Wars universe. So, yeah, I didn't really get into collecting Star Wars stuff until, honestly, just a few years ago. And this is, it's not a big collection, but I don't buy just anything. So I got into, got interested in the cosplay. Well, I was a Cub Master with a Cub Scout pack, and Force Awakens was coming out. So I was like, oh, I'm going to have a Star Wars Blue and Gold Banquet, which is a huge, like, awards party for Cub Scouts. We did a huge Star Wars theme, and I called it the Star Wars Cantina, or Death Star Cantina, where the backstory and everything was the Empire invited our pack to come to the Death Star to hold our Blue and Gold Banquet. There you go. And I invited the 501st to come out, and 3 members came out, and they, 2 of them were in Stormtrooper armor. The other one was an Imperial Army officer uniform. And it was really cool because when they came out, we had smoke and everything. Well, after seeing that and seeing the kids, and the thing is, the kids loved it. The parents got into it. And that's what made it even more fun, was the kids seeing the parents enjoying it. So I, talking to my wife, Chrissy, who is the Late Night Stitcher on her YouTube channel, gave her that plug. So I, talking to my wife, she allowed me to buy my first set of armor, which was my Stormtrooper. And going through, talking to a couple of the gentlemen that had been at my Blue and Gold Banquet, they told me go through Anovos, which link to the web addresses in the description down below. So I bought my first armor, and I was actually very lucky compared to most Anovos people. Most people are still waiting 1, 2, 3 years for their armor or whatever they've ordered. I got mine in a week. So this is an Anovos helmet, and it's not bad. It's not a bad helmet. Now this is done in it's been repainted as a Sand Trooper. Now, I didn't start out as a Sand Trooper. I started out as a TK, regular all white armored Stormtrooper, and that armor probably lasted for about a year, all white. Now, when I got this, now the helmet was complete. The other parts of the armor, they came all vacuum formed. They weren't together and everything. They were vacuum formed. So I had to painstakingly cut everything, Dremel, sand. Now I didn't, because of room and everything, I didn't pull all the Stormtrooper armor out. So this is actually the left thigh. And basically this is 2 pieces that are put together with a 1-inch strip of ABS plastic, And once you put it together, of course, it's put together. It's being held together by E6000. E6000, especially for a person who's building their first armor, that's the recommendation, because if you mess up, you can easily pull off the E6000. Now, I have since I've had this armor for a while, I have redone some things and just used super glue. Now, when you're building this, you're building this per the CRL, the costume reference library, which you can go to the 501st.org and get all that information on the CRLs. And when you're building your armor for the first time, you can't make too many modifications because you're trying to get approved. And that's the thing about the 501st Legion. They're strict when it comes to the costumes, because they want screen accurate. They don't want you buying something off the street and putting it together and say, "Hey, I'm a stormtrooper," which you can, but you can't just do that and be a 501st member. You have to be screen accurate. So, like this back portion right here of the back thigh, you have this portion right here. Well, if you notice back here, it's been cut out. If you looked at my submission photos, this was not cut like this. This was exactly like this. After I got my approval, you modify your uniform to make it more comfortable. So I've cut. Now, I really need to cut a little bit more, because you get what's called armor bites. And the last time I wore this for the Richmond Christmas Parade, it ended up breaking skin in the back of my knee. Took a few weeks to heal, but the funny thing about being in the 501st, they say the outside of your armor looks amazing, but the inside of your armor looks like crap. And that's only because there's Gorilla Tape, there's a strap to hold the thigh on. Got more duct tape back here. I've got more pieces of plastic strips back here to hold it in. So, but nobody sees it. So it's all about the outside. Now, again, this used to be all white armor. So when after about a year, the white armor gets beat up. He starts getting it gets beat up. All right, you start getting marks on it that you can't buff out. So I made a decision to turn my armor into a sand trooper, or a TD, in what the 501st called TD. So I went from TK to TD. The big thing was I had to do some modifications to my armor. The big thing is what we call dirtying it up. So member in our 501st, Tim, when it comes to doing this type of the dirty effect on the armor, does amazing job. And he came over and he helped me dirty this up. And this is like 3 different colors. I can't remember off the top of my head what the 3 colors were, but it was really interesting how we did it. We would cover this up, completely up, let it sit, go over to the next thigh, do the same thing. As soon as that's done, come back over here with a damp rag, and you just start in circles, kind of like a little Mr. Wax on, Wax off thing. And, you get that look where like the dirt's inside the cracks, really gives it that worn look of an MEPD from Tatooine. So that was really cool. How turning that into a sand trooper. Now, when we all look at the standard stormtrooper, they have the belt boxes. Now, what's interesting is a sand trooper is actually the original stormtrooper. In the Star Wars, what's the first stormtrooper you see? All right, you do see the white stormtroopers, but when they filmed this movie, it was they filmed the sand troopers first. So those were actually the original stormtroopers. And then because, when you're up in space, they wanted a cleaner look, so they revamped the Sand Trooper costume. Some of the big things is, right here they put a black mark here. There were, again, black marks right here. The Sand Troopers did not have that. So, there were lines back here. Again, Sand Troopers didn't have it. So when I modified this, I had to, paint over this and everything, use a, yes, that would actually be cool. Full Vader setup for COVID compliant for tour hunts. But yeah, so, but then with the Stormtrooper, you have the boxes that hang down from the belt. Those came off. The holster that is on a normal Stormtrooper, it has to come off. Sand Troopers don't carry these. Of course, Sand Troopers also had the backpacks and everything else. Now, for basic approval, you don't need the backpack and everything. Now, with Sand Trooper, you got the 3 different pauldrons: the captain, the sergeant, and the private. I wear the black pauldron. I'm just a private. I'm gonna get a white one just so I can be a sergeant. But I don't know. It's just a different feel when you get into the Sand Trooper. But I love it. I love being the Sand Trooper. I will say this: a Stormtrooper armor costume is uncomfortable. It is not made to wear for multiple hours. I've worn it for Comic-Cons. I've worn it for parades and such. But after a couple years of wearing the Stormtrooper armor, and my wife even seeing how uncomfortable I was in it, it came to, okay, hey, it's time to maybe make a more comfortable costume or armor outfit. So I decided I was going to go a TIE Pilot. Now, TIE Pilot in the Star Wars world, the black flight suit, which you can see right there. With that black flight suit, you can get 4 or 5 approved costumes in the 501st Legion. There's TIE Pilot Reserve, Imperial Bridge Crewman, Imperial Gunner, full TIE Pilot, and I can't remember the 5th one off the top of my head. So I got the flight suit, got the hat, and started slowly working on the TIE Pilot. Now, obviously, the TIE Pilot, full TIE Pilot, actually came last. I ended up getting my TIE Pilot Reserve number identifier, which is TI. Now, full TIE Pilot, still TI. It's just you're the full pilot rather than the shuttle pilot, basically. So when I did get the TIE Pilot, I bought it off of a 501st member. I did not buy it from a supplier. So this was already made, and it's a heavy sucker. It's full fiberglass, trying to make sure the Imperial Gunner doesn't fall down. So this is the infamous TIE Pilot. Hashtag not Vader. You'd be surprised at how many times you go to functions and you get mistaken for Vader, and it's probably because we wear this chest box and everything. Vader has a chest box. So now this is all fiberglass. If you know fiberglass, it is heavy. The armor is also fiberglass, very heavy. Now the box is plastic, but this is one complete mold. This was not pieced together like a supplier that I'm going to mention in a minute. So when you look at this, this is just all one big piece of fiberglass that was molded over a mold. Love this. And when I bought it off the gentleman, he kept the helmet system in, and basically he took a bike helmet. So the bike helmet actually sits in here. It's a very comfortable fit. The lenses, so they don't fog up, they put what's called cat crap on it. It's something that's like an anti-fogger. He had it on there. I've never taken it off, and it works great. But this is just, it's just very comfortable. Now, the interesting thing about TIE Pilot helmets is when you look at the TIE Pilot helmet, it looks very similar to the Rebel Pilot's helmet, which I'm in the middle of actually building a X-Wing. I'm breaking my, staying with the good guys. I'm going bad guys. Yes, I consider rebels the bad guys. But when you look at the helmets, they're very similar. So basically, and this is all taped up because I'm giving it a whole new paint job. We'll talk about that a minute later. So with the TIE Pilots, it's the same basically helmet as the Rebel Pilot. The Rebel Pilots just took the front face shield off, and there you go. There's the pilots. But yeah, I mean, like I say, it's just a very, very comfortable, heavy, but because it's got that bike liner helmet, it's very, very comfortable. And it sits literally right on my shoulders. So it actually, it doesn't weigh my head down. The hoses actually keep the helmet from, moving up and down and everything. So very, very comfortable. Now, unlike stormtroopers, where they wear 1970s go-go boots, all right, these are my Sand Trooper boots, all dirtied up. The TIE fighter pilots, Imperial gunners, bridge crewmen, they all wear what's called German jack boots. So I bought my German jack boots from Imperial Boots, and these are made when you order it. They make them. These are not pre-worn. These are made for you. So when I get them, they're brand new, very, very well made. And now the only thing that I didn't like was the fact that it didn't come with like any insoles. So you got to buy the insoles and put them in. But very, very well done boots. Of course, because I was in the military, I polished my boots. So give it that nice, Imperial look. But yeah, so the Imperial boots they make other things than just the boots. They do full costumes and everything. So check them out, imperialboots.com. Now, the way they do their runs is usually like the beginning of every month, they'll open for like maybe a week, and then they shut down so they can make all their orders. And then they'll open back up the following month, maybe if they fulfilled all their orders. I really like how they do it because they're taking their time on that stuff, but they do all sorts of Star Wars costumes. So check them out. Again, very, very quality. I will definitely buy from Imperial Boots more often. Now, I've also gone through Wampaware. Again, that's in the description down below, wampaware.com. And I've, this is actually my X-Wing pilot compad. Now, there's the Imperial. There's the compad for the Rebel X-Wing pilot. So the orange jumpsuit that makes you look like you're from prison if you just wear that, or could make you look like a pumpkin. That's also Wampa wear. My gloves are Wampa wear. The gloves, very, very well made. Not had any issues with those. So in that, in just showing you the compads made me realize something I want to kind of really talk about real quick is how technology has helped the cosplay world. A lot of things were, you use the foam to make things, and then, with the advent of like 3D printing, that has just revolutionary, of course, rubber and everything. This is a heavy duty rubber, so it can bend. All right. And like I said, this is very, very well done. But this, I got this when I was building my TIE pilot. This is 3D printed. The gentleman who made it, 501st member, I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. They did this to where it already has a kind of like an arch to it. So when you put it in, now the only issue I had was when I got it, when I put it in the compad slot, it would want to fall out. So I took a piece of felt, E6000 to it, and it's never wanted to fall out again. But like 3D printing is just it's changed how people have done it. We have a lady who has a Praetorian Guard, and it's all 3D printed, and it's amazing. Very, very well built. The Tuscan Raider, all the silver parts were all 3D printed. And that's truly the first helmet I really built on my own. I got, the 3D parts were made by a member, but I went to Tandy Leather, got the leather straps, kind of like the fake leather, and I think it's monk's cloth, but this was a fun build. This is actually not my costume. This is my middle son's costume, which now is my 5-year-old's costume because he's outgrown it. Because this wouldn't even fit my head. Yeah, wouldn't fit my head. But this was so much fun to build. Like I said, first helmet I truly built from scratch, other than buying the parts and putting everything together. Because all my other helmets were all pre-built. So so after I got my TIE pilot, I kind of, wanted to, because I do sometimes a lot of trooping on my own, especially for scouts. And scouts, they want to see more than one character. So, I had my stormtrooper, had my X-wing. So I got with a fellow 501st member out of North Carolina, Jason Hill. You can follow him on Instagram at JBH66. So, and he also runs Intergalactic Supply, which information how to check him out on Facebook is down in the description below. I bought my Imperial Gunner from him. Of course, I went ahead and had him make it for me and everything, because I'm always afraid I'm going to screw something up, and if you screw it up, then you got to spend more money. So had paid the extra money to have Jason put this together, and this I was very, 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 very pleased with it. This comm actually comes off for easy storage. Now, as an Imperial gunner, I didn't want to wear the bib. I just didn't like it. I guess after wearing Stormtrooper armor and everything. So I got with Jason, and he did the armor for the gunner. So this just looks so much better than the bib. And if you're looking for a good supplier, honestly, I mean, I'm getting ready to possibly this week get my X-Wing chest rig from Jason. Quality work. There are several members in our garrison who has his TIE helmets, his Navy Trooper helmets. He does the Rebellion infantry helmet. He's done Mud Trooper. I saw. I don't know. I can't remember all the different outfits. You just have to contact him, message him through his Facebook and Intergalactic Supply. Again, follow him, JBH at JBH66. But quality work. I'm very, very impressed with it. And on his personal Facebook page, I can't remember if it's on the Intergalactic Facebook page. He did a tutorial on how he builds his TIE helmets. It was like 7 or 8 videos, and it was really, really interesting. So if you say you were to buy from Jason and you just buy the kit, you could follow his videos verbatim, and you could build the TIE helmets. So yeah, if you were to go with a supplier, definitely check Jason out before you check anybody else out. Because like I said, I'm definitely going to be a repeat customer with him. So that's my costumes. Okay, so now again, you've seen, most of these costumes are ABS plastic. They're fiberglass. So there's some being 3D printed. Now I don't have 3D printed costumes. And when we're building these, I mean, you definitely got to get very creative sometimes to make things fit. When I was building my Stormtrooper, I was told to go to Home Depot, buy those plastic no parking signs, and then on the other, because this is a thinner ABS plastic, you can cut and everything. This is how I've made some of my extra strips for inside my thighs, my arm belt, shoulder bells, and everything. All the extra is either this or I bought extra ABS plastic. I think I got this from Welch Trooper Factory, I believe, which it's another supplier you could take a look at. Take a look at Jason first, honestly. But yeah, but then you get into the accessories. So now I don't have too many accessories except for my pistols. So I carry basically the E11 blaster with any of my costumes. TIE Fighter, I don't carry the blaster with. I don't have the D11, but when I'm in my Imperial Gunner, I might carry the blaster. Stormtrooper, definitely. Now, I've got 2 versions of no, I didn't get the orange jumpsuit from prison. That is a Wampa wear. So very, very comfortable. Got a little bit bigger, so but definitely. So so I got 2 E11 blasters. Now, this is the first E11 blaster I got. I got this from Cosplay Sky. It came from England, so when I bought it, bank put a freeze on my car saying, "Hey, there's a fraud alert." No, that was me. This was expensive. This was like $200. It's very well made, very heavy, but for long term trooping, this can get very heavy. Now, a lot of times, when I was trooping, it would be in the holster. And like I said, this holster is very well made. This is the Novos holster that was taken off my Stormtrooper belt when I became a sand trooper. So, and I'm going to repurpose this. I'm actually going to put more different belt loops on it, so that way I could wear this with my Imperial Gunner or TIE Pilot if I wish to. Now, I guess you just saw I got this E11 blaster. Now, basically, we could say this is screen accurate now, because this is definitely screen accurate. All right. And just because the wear and tear, I love the fact that it's got some wear marks and everything where you would see on some guns. Now, this is a Ruby's. I got this at Walmart. I found it at the end of Halloween season. I grabbed it. You're seeing a lot of 501st members going with this. Now, if you've watched Star Wars Rebels, this is the configuration. This is the E11 blaster you see in Star Wars Rebels. Now, I still have to paint this. It's just going to be painted in a flat black. It's got the counterbox and everything. But it's very, very light. It'll look nice. Like I said, a couple of our members, they carry these rather than I guess you should say the full size of the E11. Love this. Gets heavy. This is going to be nice for troops that I may just keep it in a holster and it's not going to weigh me down. But again, this is just going to paint it most of the time. You can find these this time of the year for Halloween. So, trying to see, did I miss any of the other organizations that? So again, I am with Garrison Tyranus, and with the organization of the 501st. Okay. And again, you have 501st.com to check out basically all the information you want on the 501st. But we break ourselves down. We got the Legion, which is everybody. Then you got garrisons, which is your region, your area, your state. A lot of your countries are their own garrisons. One of the biggest garrisons is Germany, which they're massive. It's a massive garrison. And then you break down to squads, and then you have detachments. So each costume, like stormtroopers, your white stormtroopers, your all white stormtroopers, to your heavy weapon troopers, they're part of the 1st Imperial Stormtrooper Detachment. So, all right. Again, this is just something you put on your jacket. Now, when I went from white stamp stormtrooper to a Sandy, I became part of the MEPD, also known as the Mos Eisley Police Department. So that's the patch for MEPD. And the TIE Pilot Detachment is known as the JRS Jolly Roger Squadron. So needless to say, the pirate flag is like their thing, but that's the one of the patches for Jolly Ron Squadron. Fortunately, I don't have the Imperial Gunner or the Officer Corps patches. I'm still trying to track those down. Now, I am, like I said, being part of Garrison Tyranus. That's our patch, but then our squad has our own patch. So it's really, really cool because 2 out of the 3 costumes I've got. So so with the patches, what a lot of us do is we buy our own shirts and everything. This is a Dickies shirt, and I've got all my patches so far sewn on here. With the Jolly Roger Squadron, of course, it's a different patch than what I showed you, but I've also got ANH because I am a New Hope Episode 4 TIE pilot. Of course, there's variant TIE fighter pilots, but this was kind of like my first Garrison shirt. Then my Garrison went and got these made up. So, one sleeve, American flag, Virginia, because with Virginia. And then on my right side, there's my Garrison patch, my squad, and then join the dark side. Of course, as we like to say, join the dark side. We have cookies. Then there's TK40981. That is my official number with the 501st. And then on this side is the 501st patch, 501st Legion, Garrison Tyranus. And then just put something on your side is the Imperial Call. This is kind of like my winter. During the winter time and stuff, I've got, I'll wear this better than this because this is a little bit more lighter. When I go to Disney, I'll wear this because it's definitely a little bit cooler. It's moist wickening. But, of course, this is all 501st. I'm kind of breaking my thing of, I don't want to be a rebel, but I decided that I'm going to build an X-Wing pilot. So I'm joining the rebel cause, I guess. I'm switching over to the bad guys. I get it. The Empire was the bad guys, but to me, the Empire were the good guys. But anyways, I'm building a rebel X-Wing pilot. So I am in the middle of making the modifications to this Black Series helmet. This is done up in the Luke Skywalker Red 5. But I'm going to turn this into a my own helmet. That's the nice thing about the X-Wing pilots. Do your helmet the way you want to, as long as it's got certain things on it. There's some modifications that need to be done to this helmet. One is the button right here, because so right now I've got to sand down the putty and everything and do one more layer of putty, and then I'm going to paint this over. Still trying to figure out what exactly I'm going to do with this, but I think I'm going to go with a flat black and do a blue. And then, of course, I'm most likely going to get with Jason's to get some of these decals and everything. So, but I'm going to be doing a all black kind of, because a lot of your rebellion, resistance or rebel pilots, they were X-Wing or TIE fighters pilots. So I've got my backstory for this, which since I'm 40981. 409, well, if I flip the 4 over, that's an H, then O. And 9, if I turn that into a P, I'm called Hop. So that's going to be kind of my, that's going to be kind of like my nickname or something, coming from the Empire, because I don't want to give my real name, so I'm just going to be called Hop. But basically, the way I'm doing this is I took my TIE helmet took the front and I turned my TIE helmet into my X-wing. So it's going to be all black, and then I'm going to have my decals, which, like I said, I think I'm going to do blue striping and stuff. I served in the Air Force. I served in the Army too, but to turn a pilot's helmet with an Army theme, so I'm going to do a little blue because I was in the Air Force. So can't wait to finally start painting this and to get this done. Of course, like I said, I'm going to be getting with Jason to get the chest box. I've got the stock parts being made by a fellow Garrison member. And of course, the nice thing about Star Wars cosplaying, a lot of the costume parts interact with each other. So my German jack boots, my black gloves for the TIE go to the X-wing pilot. So I'm able to wear, not having to spend as much money to build. Now, there's the other thing, money. This is not a cheap hobby, okay, by any sorts. I've got some money in this. I think Stormtrooper, all white armor, I got probably about $1,200 into that. And then I tacked on probably another $300 for my Sand Trooper. So about $1,500 into a Sand Trooper. That's not counting getting the paint to paint it. The TIE helmet that I bought and the armor part ran me about $800. I think I paid, because I had it done, I believe I had, it was either $350 from, I can't remember what Jason charged me. I think it was $350 because I wanted the helmet done. Now this, I just told him, I'm like, send it to me vacuum formed. I'll cut it out myself. And again, I recycled some pieces. The strap that's right here is what holds my Sand Trooper armor together. So I utilize a lot of things. The side straps that are right here are the side straps I use for my X-wing, or my TIE. Sorry, for my TIE. So I'm reusing pieces. Velcro, when I have these in storage, this is all Velcroed on. It just, so that way when I wear it, it's on there. But then when I'm done, I take it off, and it's, I've got my Stormtrooper or my Sand Trooper in one bin, and then I have a Husky rolling for my TIE pilot and my Imperial gunner. So they do take up space. Some of our members, I had 1, 2, 3, building my fourth real big one. I've got 4 costumes. I'm approved for 6 right now because I'm not approved for the X-wing yet. But we got some member, we got one member, I think he's got over 30 costumes. So he could do 30 troops and be in a different costume. It's quite amazing. Some of the costumes he's got are very, very high quality. And we got some of our members, they have mannequins that their costumes are on. So this is a wonderful, and I will say this, the people are wonderful. They don't care who you are, what you are, what you do, as long as you have a love for Star Wars. I think that's the overall thing I really love about this organization. Everybody is so personable. We get together, we go out to eat after a lot of troops. It's just an amazing organization. We do great things for the community. I can't speak highly enough about the 501st. But of course, if you got any questions, don't forget you can contact me, dsattractionsreviewva@gmail.com. If you got more other questions, go to the 501st website. If you're interested in joining, they have a place where you can find your local garrison to join up with them, and then they'll get you hooked up with where their next armor parties are, which is the armor parties are gatherings of members of the garrison to work on armor. And you may have no idea what you're doing. You bring your armor out, you will have 3 or 4 individuals come over, and they'll be happy to help you, cut, paste, glue, paint, to help get you to become a full member of the 501st and get your TKID. So again, I appreciate you guys for joining me on this. It's something I've, wanted to discuss. It's just, it's fun. And hopefully, I'll do a video sometime of us actually out trooping and everything. So, stay tuned for that. But if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, notification bell. Appreciate you for watching. Thanks for all those watching and putting comments down in the comments. We'll catch you next time on another review. And this review is now over.